Last time on Reckless Attack.
The golden Grung Overlord finally falls, pulled from his perch by a well-aimed thorn whip. The road has been made safe again for now, and the party starts their work, picking up the pieces of the camp. Find out what happens next on Reckless Attack. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Reckless Attack, a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition actual play podcast. I am Nathan Lurs, your Dungeon Master. Hope everyone is doing good. Thank you for listening to episode 10 of our podcast.
Wow.
Yeah.
Double digits, everyone. Double digits.
I don't know if I'm more impressed with us for having done 10. You know, I always felt like that was in the cards, barring like some sort of drastic social fallout between us. But, you know, at least D&D wise felt like, yeah, we could sit in front of mics and plop out enough content for it. Or if I'm more impressed by someone, this hypothetical listener who has listened to all 10 episodes already and has been like, yeah, I want that.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I want,
I'm
which
enjoying
is crazy. And hey, at least we can count on 5 downloads every week, and that's us because we like doing it. And then everyone else does it, and that's cool too. So thank you.
Nathan,
I
I have something
appreciate-
to tell you. I haven't been listening to any of them.
Oh, that's okay.
I don't actually know what's going on.
Yeah.
Like,
That's okay, because I've been dual downloading across multiple platforms. You got to do Spotify and Apple iTunes. or
Oh, yeah.
I'm just very
Podcasts.
proud of Reckless Attack.
Oh no. Anyway, hi, I'm Nathan. I'm your Dungeon Master. We are all knowing what we're doing and what podcast that we're on this whole time. Don't worry about it. Thank you again for listening. How about that last episode? Last couple episodes was a lot. I'm excited to check in with all the various players. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we did. We were talking about it for several days afterwards about how much fun we had. Hopefully that translated again, but at minimum, we had fun, and that's, you know, heck the rest of you guys.
Yeah.
I don't mean that. You know what I mean. You
We
get it.
love you, but heck you.
Yeah, but heck you. To my right, I would like to check in with the ever graceful and beautiful.
Well, hello. My name is Steve, and I am playing Sylvesterlin. He's in pretty rough shape at the moment.
Yep.
After the last episode. Looking forward to, well, Sylv himself is looking forward to sitting down and relaxing and possibly getting bandaged up and maybe not being on watch for a little bit.
Technically, this all happened in the first watch.
Yes.
it's only been like 3 hours.
Yeah,
Like,
this is still
tops, yeah.
all technically Kaskrin's watch.
Yes.
more or
So
less.
what we have learned is Kaskrin can no longer be on watch. And I think the Citadel needs business hours to be posted.
Yes.
Like,
No Sundays.
right. No Sundays.
I'm sure a Warlock patron will definitely
I
abide
will
by
lodge
those
a
yeah,
rules.
that's-
formal complaint.
It seems reasonable.
Hi, it's me. I'm David, and I play Kaskrin Brightmane, the Dwarven Warlock of the Eternal Citadel. Kaskrin is really still feeling the adrenaline pumping through his veins. He is clutching onto this giant for dear life, and all of a sudden, the Grung Overlord, or the High Grung
High
Lord.
Overlord.
Wow, such disrespect. Just because I said his name several different ways across the course of several episodes doesn't mean you guys get to.
The golden Grung guy has now
Wow.
vacated the premises and is on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And Kaskrin's feeling pretty good about that. Hello everyone. Hello everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
It's a good
High,
like,
low, and side to side.
Right.
you know, we've been looking for catchphrases.
We have Yahi.
Yeah.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
I was,
Forgot about Yahi.
you never responded to my text about making a sticker about it.
Oh, it's because I've already made stickers.
It's because it's already out on merch booths across the nation.
Right. Hello everyone. My name is Jonathan, and I play Checkers, the Grung Druid, and his trusty frog pal Mango. Checkers is on top of the world right now. He has successfully taken over the Grung encampment by destroying the Grung High Overlord.
Which he is also on top of, in addition to the world.
Yes, and he is covered in mud, presumably also poison from being in contact with this Grung Overlord. but is smiling the biggest frog smile he can right now while looking around and seeing all of his terribly injured allies.
And probably the only thing missing is you don't have fruit being shoved into your mouth.
Well, we're going to get there in a minute.
Oh, okay.
That's step 2.
Coming up on Reckless Attack.
Yeah, right. Is Checkers becomes the new High Overlord and leaves the party.
Yep.
No.
Borg, help us, please. Artist in residence Borg. We need someone's stat because Jonathan did a thing.
Right. Yep.
It's what my character would do.
Yeah, right.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sophie, and I play Valeska Carter, the human asterisk cleric of the Arcana domain.
Someday we'll actually learn what she is. Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Episode
Secrets
like 600
forever.
or something.
Impossible to tell.
As she removes the mask and is a grung.
Joins the stack of frogs.
Yeah, right.
Val is feeling the adrenaline, feeling feisty, and also has so many questions and like a running to-do list of things in her mind.
Yeah.
That's really starting with just like a quick 5-minute sit down. That's like number one. Just like a quick sit.
I'm just imagining this quick sit of Val. I loved the way last episode you described after she got hit by the sling rock of how just part of her face was just covered in blood. I'm just imagining all this battle, all this mayhem, and then you just sit down crisscross applesauce like the thinker. Your brain is just whirring and just no, do not talk to me. I have to process. I have to order. I have to commit to memory.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Well, speaking of, I'm sure there's a lot of stuff in the immediate aftermath. Sits, for example.
I would
Any
like the
sort
second
of
sits.
stealing of fruits or stopping someone from stealing fruits. But in lieu of doing all that, and we'll address any of those questions that you guys have or any thoughts or any role-playing stuff before or after kind of this, I wanted to kind of bring us all in. Gather around table. Gather around listeners. Imagine, if you will, you see the great caravan that you guys are a part of. Wagons stretching farther than the eye can see because it is still night, it is still dark. Every once in a while, torches, firelight. It's pretty dark, but there's still some sources of light going on. And every once in a while, you see a person who is out on watch. Someone holding a sword, a makeshift spear or pike. And we close in on a pair of people who are standing watch, staring into the darkness, hoping that nothing stares back. As they're kind of nodding off, one of them jostles the other one. They go back to watch. The first one falls asleep a little. They jostle each other. And then, from in the darkness, these two big globular eyes light up in the firelight from a distance. And they're awestruck and terrified for a moment. They call out, "Who's there? Stay back, stay back!" Instead of staying back, the eyes come closer and closer. And before any other further shouts from either side come out, a large tree frog comes hopping, holding several mortals. And behind that tree frog, the members of the Golden Tree Adventuring Guild, the Verdant Wave Adventuring Guild, and the other volunteers, all carrying victims, rescued victims of the Grung encampment. There's a flurry of activity. Someone gives a shout. People rush in from all sides to grab people off your shoulders to help you. You see, I assume, both Kaskarin and Giannis Varga, the commander of the Verdant Wave, trying to order people around and organize efforts. You see the two trail masters, Bronar Bronze Mace and Granak Bronze Mace, come in, clap you guys on the shoulder, and spread out a little.
Ow.
Self goes down to 1 hit point.
50% gone.
So I was imagining the end of the battle was pretty much as soon as you guys felled the High Overlord, it was over. The Verdant Wave certainly would have tried to take as many down as they could have, but really as soon as everyone saw that happened, any remaining Grung all scattered. And then in the flurry of all that activity, there was people shouting, grabbing unconscious folk. You were checking on Grung that you had knocked unconscious, all that kind of stuff. So you guys have successfully at least gotten everyone back already. As kind of the commotion of you guys returning back to the caravan is not dying down per se, because there's still a lot of organizing to do, you hear this tiny little whinny neigh from in the distance and this clop of tiny hooves as you see Hody, the beautiful baby precious donkey with her tiny little shoulder nubbins, come running at you and collectively does that thing that dogs sometimes do where they just go to each of you in turn and cannot stay still because it's so happy to see all of you.
Too excited to be at one person
Exactly.
and got to check in with each of their people.
Checking to everyone. Hi, you. Hey, hi. And welcomes you back also as a nice...
Just scritches.
Yes. And it's just... and
rubbing that
as
face.
excited as she is, you can also tell that Hody's very sleepy and she's just like, yes, scritches.
He's like, I'm
thank
sorry,
you."
someone was supposed to be sleeping and petting me all night. That's not happening. So I'm now awake and you have to come
Yeah.
back and do that. So I, Hody, can go back to sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm afraid I made a boom boom.
Nope. Okay. What would you like to do? It's very open-ended, but...
One thing Solve will do is go up to Giannis and the rest of the Verdant Wave and give a small bow and say,
Thank you. I don't think we would be able to rescue this many people without your assistance.
Giannis says, yes, it was certainly interesting and useful working with the four of you as well as the volunteers that were rustled up. Well done. We didn't quite get the full route we were looking for, but certainly was effective. And he very formally sticks his hand out for you to shake it.
Solve will also offer his claw and shake his hand.
Yep.
One other thing Solve will do will be to go up to the turtle wizard, Trankar.
You see him just kind of like lazily leaning up against a tree kind of on the outskirts.
Again, he'll give a slight bow, and then Solve will look at him and say,
That was a very overt signal.
I don't like this at all.
What is happening?
and I don't think anyone has ever actually heard Solve laugh.
No.
That's a real bummer.
I've never done a joke.
Can I not hear that again? No.
Maybe they heard once and that was enough. I don't know.
It doesn't happen too often, but yes, Solve actually gives a laugh after that, and then clasps on his back, kind of the back of the shell.
Yeah.
Just like slaps him there, and then just kind of walks off laughing.
And as this is happening, I thought I had what I was going to say ready, but I don't. I wasn't ready. As you turn away and you kind of just do this,
Signal.
he crinkles his eyes a little bit in his deceptively cute smile, and he calls out, "Told you would know." Ha, 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 ha. And you hear these two very off-putting laughs chime together for a brief moment, as probably Barzug the dwarf looks on and is just giving both of you just a very weird look. Trankar, as you're turning away, Selv, says, "Find me. I'll introduce you to our fourth guilder. I think you'll like them too." Ha, 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 ha.
Thank you.
And then Solve will bow and go to continue helping with whatever needs to be done.
And he continues leaning against the tree.
Kaskrin at this point has also been talking with Barzug, the Dwarven Rager. He is actually shaking her hand. He is basically astounded with what she was able to do. You know, he was feeling that rhythm, that fire inside of him as they were fighting. And it's just like, this is the first time he's ever heard such a powerful battle chant.
First of all, to clarify, you are shaking her hand.
Yes.
She is squeezing your hand in a very intense, not necessarily dominating way, but in an intense way.
I heard a little bit from Valeska about who you worship, but maybe later you could tell me some more. I'd love to learn more about them.
So she has her morning star, her two-handed giant morning star, head down into the ground, using it as a leaning post, I guess, in a way, and is standing very proudly with it as you extol the virtue of the morning star, the saint that she follows. And she says, "The saint of the morning star does grant great proficiency in battle, great fire in all things. All things." She winks at you.
I see you have much to learn.
I'm uncomfortable.
And I have much to teach. Look up our headquarters in Agmar.
I think you'll see me there soon. He doesn't wink back at her, but he returns the knowing smile and then excuses himself.
Everyone else who would see this sees her flex just for a moment and then go back to also standing around. Giannis is again helping ordering people around after a Selv handshake. Is anyone else around? Is anyone else interested in a handshake? Is everyone tending to other people? Wow. The lack of enthusiasm. If only this was a visual. One of the few times I wish this was a visual medium to see just the utter.
Me avoiding eye contact.
And Jonathan looking at me disgusted, being like, no.
No, of
course
course not. I'm doing the exact opposite of that, actually.
I'm trying to determine how close Val is because she would be really trying to look after the volunteers of the people who came to help and wanted to make sure they're okay. But you described them being very close. So she feels like if she is close enough, it's like a compulsory thing for etiquette that she would have to like come and like be like.
I leave that to you. I would say that there's enough activity that you could be aware that it was happening and actively choose within the realm of tact to be like, oh, well, I got to help this person over here to get over there. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, no, she's just going to be helping the volunteers.
After Kaskrin is done talking with Barzog, he sees that, Selv has just left a little bit after shaking Yanis's hand, and he will also walk up to Yanis, look at his outstretched hand, giving the formal handshake, and ignore it. He keeps his hands to his side, feeling the weight of the letter that he took from the fallen soldier in his breastplate.
Giannis very quickly sees that you do not extend your hand and very smoothly, in kind of a practiced socialite almost way, retracts his hand and has no other outward reaction to it.
And there's like this juxtaposition of Yanis, gleaming full plate armor, barely a scratch on him after dancing through all these grung, and Kaskrin, who is bloodied, who is dirtied, who has just clung for his life on this giant mount, and with the help of all of his friends, succeeded in this battle. He says to Yanis, "We did these people a good service today, Yanis. They wouldn't have made it out without us, and I think we did the best job that we could do. Certainly, we will continue traveling down these roads to Agmar. I hope that this is not the last time that our paths cross." Normally he would say this with this amicable, like friendly voice, but it's just business.
Yeah. Yes, you and the rest of your guild comported yourselves well in battle, from what I could tell. Well done. Certainly credit where credit is due in taking down that golden grung and the monstrosity that was riding it. And overall, a successful mission, I think. I also hope to continue amicable relations between our two guilds. I don't know if we will be allies. I do not presume it. I also hope that we do not become enemies. And he nods. I assume you just look at each other for a moment, each once again, maybe for a final-ish time for the evening, taking stock of one another. And Giannis is the one to turn away and attend to other things on the caravan.
Kaskrin stands there for a minute, looking at his back, before turning to his duties as well.
Checkers, what are you doing amid all of the activity?
I'm actually imagining kind of three separate things happening.
I mean, you have three separate frogs,
All
so
right.
you can do all sorts of things.
Absolutely. So what people might see is as Giannis is sort of helping, sort of coordinating the retrieval of the different pieces of equipment maybe, or sort of ordering people around to check up over there or see if there's anyone else that's watching them, he would reach into his pocket and pull out this crumpled piece of paper and just look at it like he doesn't know where this came from. Like it wasn't in there before. And he takes it and he opens it up, and it's this really badly drawn picture of what looks like Giannis in crayon. And you can see just like the vague head shape and like this big gray box that takes the place of his full plate.
Yep.
And the picture is of this Giannis looking person getting stuck in a doorway and trying to extricate himself. And in the bottom right corner is just like a little green frog face in crayon. And he just looks at it, just stares and wonders what this is, and then just crumples it and throws it to the ground.
And do we see we're thinking cinematically, where is Checkers, is he seeing, has he been waiting for this moment, or is he like, the deed is done?
Yeah.
I've already succeeded.
Checkers would be very much just like, I've done exactly what I want to do. However he reacts to that is fine.
You don't need the payoff.
Yeah, right. But the fact that Giannis has seen it is enough joy for Checkers. He's like, yes.
Excellent.
Good.
Check.
Right. A second thing might be, I'm assuming the Grung Overlord has like a very fancy hat.
Of course he does.
Yeah.
Yes.
So as the Grung Overlord has fallen, Checkers would take the High Overlord's hat.
What do you think his hat looks like?
I'm imagining it like this very like gaudy crown almost, but made of not gold or jewels, but maybe of very fancy feathers or shells or just different bits and baubles that you would normally find in
Almost
nature.
like I'm imagining a magpie nest practically.
Yeah, exactly.
With weird, why is there just metal wiring in here?
Right.
And like just anything shiny and interesting is all stuck together in sort of a circle halo thing.
And it would probably be pretty tall too. Maybe like a foot tall of just all these various bits constructed together.
So it's actually like one of those British guardsmen hat who stand outside of the Buckingham Palace.
Mm-hmm.
It's that, but made out of garbage.
Right. And as Val is sort of sitting on the ground collecting herself, she just hears, "Hey, Val, what do you think?" And I just look at her with this big foot tall hat made of bits and pieces.
Here's my question. Does it fit inside the rim of your tricorn so you're wearing two hats at the same time, or did you sub out the tricorn?
He was a very chubby frog.
I think he would sub out the tricorn first and take the tricorn off and just put the hat on and be like, "It's me, the High Overlord. What do you think?"
Val chuckles a little bit, and then she's like, "Does it fit without you holding it up?"
And he would let go and it would just kind of sink into his head.
Val chuckles some more. It's like, maybe we can resize it for you.
It's a little bit.
You're right, Val. It's kind of gaudy. He just throws it off.
Throws it, just immediately forgotten.
Right, and just puts his own hat back on.
I do like the original better.
Yeah, it's a look.
And then just last thing, Checkers is definitely going to go steal some of those fruit. Assuming they haven't all been exploded in the sack explosion.
You do have a sack. We have one.
An unexploded one.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
We have one fruit, but
No, we have a one.
The ones
There's
that
no
we have
good
one
word
sack.
for it. We call it a sack. We call it a
call it a
bladder.
bladder.
There's
It's all
no
bad.
good word.
The grenade,
Right.
But that's, immersion breaking.
The squishy bag.
Yeah.
we can combine them and call it a satyr.
No.
I'm sadder from having heard that.
Inspiration.
So
Yeah.
it worked.
Yeah.
Okay, so quick clarifying question. Would Checkers do that before leaving the encampment? Would he be like, I'm not leaving this place. I don't care what you tell me that we're coming back here. I'm not leaving without grabbing fruit.
Yes.
Okay.
I think so. He might look at the pen because his whole thing was Kaskrin said, if you help free people from the pen, you can go steal the fruit. So he looks at the
That's
pen,
very true.
sees they're okay, and this is my time to go steal the fruit. So I'm going to go. So he would not leave the encampment until he's at least carrying a few of them.
Are you doing it to avoid anybody seeing, or are you just going there and grabbing fruit?
I feel like Checkers might just go there and just grab them.
I was going to say, and not to tell you how to play your character, certainly, but I feel like based on the logic that you just said, which was like, well, no, I did the thing.
Yeah, right.
Kaskrin,
He can't possibly be mad at me now for stealing it.
He wouldn't lie to me about this. I did the thing, and therefore I get the fruit.
Exactly.
And everyone should be fine with that. Kaskrin said it's okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he would just walk over there and be like, well, it's mine.
I feel like Kaskrin at that point, like you are picking up these fruit very obviously. He
Absolutely.
would walk over and just kind of give you that like,
Oh, you look.
Why? You said I could.
I know, Checkers. And you did do a good job today. He sees you taking
Arms
arms
full.
full of fruit.
Which is like 4 fruits, honestly.
Right.
I'm gonna ask you to roll a d6 here in a second.
And Kaskrin bends down and picks up a few and puts them in his bag, too.
Just as a reminder to everyone,
Mm-hmm.
these fruit not just make you poisonous, but also make you aggressive, violent, and also a sense of superiority beyond normal levels.
So
of
normal
those
Checkers
things.
then.
No, no. It's an extra layer of icing on the Checkers cake of all of that. But it's too late now.
Yeah, Kaskrin does not know that as much. He just knows that Checkers did really want this fruit
Yep.
and did keep to his
Did do the
word
thing.
that he would help.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's taking some fruit
I
with him.
forget offhand, but did we determine that consuming the fruit changes your color, or are the colored grung just that's how they are, and then they just get basically?
I don't remember how much we rolled on it, but
'Cause
I can just tell you behind the scenes.
Okay,
Go ahead.
because the impression I got was that the more fruit you consumed, your color changed until
Correct.
you turned into, like, if you consume a lot, you become golden.
Correct.
And that's, okay.
Yeah, that is exactly what it was, is that it is really only based on how much of the fruit you consume, but then it was very specifically rationed to ensure everyone, there's the right number of green grung, and
Right.
that, of course, the High Overlord has as much fruit as he wants because he's on top and gold and needs to stay gold. So I will ask you to roll 1d6 plus
Something.
how
20.
No. 1d6 plus 3.
All right. Sounds good. 2. So 5 total.
5 total fruits. They're pretty big.
Nice.
Well, and you still have to, like, I don't know, nominally help out or whatever.
I don't know what that means.
Yep, fair enough.
I hope that does not make you toxic.
Val would not realize that Checkers has done this because she's actively going to the pen and
Yes.
making sure people are okay. When she's realized and, like, we've started getting
That
everyone
he's holding instead of
No,
carrying
check-
anyone,
she's
he's
not
just
really,
holding
like-
tons of stuff. Yep,
paying attention, Val will actually go and pick up a single fruit.
for studies.
Yes.
And that's all Checkers wanted to do.
Okay.
So you would just see in the cinematic version, Checkers walking out with a big armful of fruit.
Perfect. Is there anything else that you guys would have wanted to do or that you want to still do tonight before hitting the hay, before anything else?
Before we would have left the Grung encampment, Val would have taken any amount of time she could have, like as much as possible.
Yeah, every second
Every
counts.
second to investigate where the portal was.
Mm-hmm.
The creature who came out of it had a lot of, I don't want to say baubles, but like a lot of bits in their outfit, like anything that might have dropped. She's just scanning was it on a dais?
I think I described it as next to the dais or
Okay.
something. Give me an investigation roll just to see what things that you...
Guidance.
Fine.
Because I remember I have that.
Smart.
Nice.
Yay. Remembering class
We did
abilities.
it.
Very important.
That's not very good. Only 11.
There is all kinds of chaos around this. This was close to where a lot of the grenades exploded, close to the fireball. So there's a lot of, we'll just say, charring going on in this general area. The most notable thing that you find, just on kind of the outskirts of where a lot of that was, where the portal was, you see a very thin line of dead grass
Okay.
right where the portal opened. Probably 2 inches across and however many wide, however wide this door was, of just dead plants.
That will take a vial and get some dead plants. Just in case.
It never hurts.
Let's get ready to mid-roll. Hi, everyone.
Is that how we're starting?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Hey, everyone. It's the mid-roll time.
Yeah.
And this is a new sub-podcast that we're launching, which is the fantasy wrestling podcast where we just go around and not describe what's going on in wrestling, but we practiced our wrestling announcer voices.
I don't know what you mean by new podcast, Nathan. This is really just the continuation of our existing podcast.
It will slowly be subsuming the rest of Reckless Attack.
Every Belt of Giant Strength just has a giant golden thing in the front. It's just like a dumb WWE thing.
I really feel that in the 90s, if someone had floated professional wrestling my way in the right context, I think that would have been exactly my shit. Like all the drama, all the weirdness, the fakeness, the whole storylines. I think I would have been deeply into it. And now I'm just staring at professional wrestling being like, can I get in?
Yeah.
Is it cool?
It's never
what if
too
it is
late,
cool?
Nathan.
That's what people tell me. And and let this be a call out maybe. People can DM me and be like, oh, I'll be your Sherpa on the wrestling journey.
To enlightenment.
Yeah.
So today, I'm joined by Jonathan and Nathan. We're still doing
By
this.
the way, hi,
Yeah.
it's the three of us,
Yeah.
in case you didn't know from all of our chatter.
Thanks for listening so far. I hope you're enjoying the episode so far. If you like what you're listening here, you might also love what is going on our Twitter at @reckless_attack, where our Dungeon Master Nathan posts dumb things pretty much all the time, constantly.
Pretty much all the time.
Yep,
Yeah.
24/7, just memes.
But a lot of it is fun, dumb stuff, though, at least. You know, it's a lot of very interactive, very fun. I don't know.
It's good stuff.
It's good
Go
stuff.
check it out. Outside of that, we're doing a whole lot of new stuff on our Patreon. We've got
Yes.
some fun outtakes. We're putting together some merch that new patrons will be able to get after 3 months of subscription, I think is how Patreon works. And we are starting our interview series
Yes.
on Patreon, which is all going to be going out soon after you hear this episode. So the first interview is with myself,
Yeah,
actually.
it's you.
Which is why I feel qualified to talk about this, but Nathan and I had a really great time.
It was wonderful. I'm really excited to interview all of you guys. But yeah, that one was such a great way to start, and such a poignant conversation, and such a great amount of insight into you as a person, as a player. And that's really what we're going for, both for people in our podcast and also lots of people in the TTRPG community. But be sure to check out the actual episode. We have a lot more details of what kind of content we're going to be hosting there, what kind of people we're going to be interviewing, and you'll just get to, I don't know, sit in a cool conversation between Jonathan and myself.
Absolutely. And that's going live on our Patreon sometime. Check it out.
It may already be there. It may not, but you'll have to double check and find out. So yes, Twitter, Patreon, also YouTube. If you haven't seen it already, we have a lot of cool clips and our episodes are hosted there too. So if that's how you get your Reckless Attack content on YouTube, perfect. Thanks for joining us on the mid-roll. We'll get you back to your regularly scheduled content. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
As you guys are going back to your caravan, I'll also say Brannar and Granick Bronze Mace are also there amid everything. And once they kind of ensure that everything is organized, they have their actual paid caravan guard there to help now that people are there, make sure that they're pulled in, they're safe. You can even see Etris, your potion smith, is there already administering to people, and he gives you kind of a goofy wave from across the crowd. Hey, y'all! I see you're all still alive. That's great news. Did the diuretic help? Yes, we'll talk about it later. And Brannar and Granick, the dwarf and orc trail masters of the caravan, come up. And Brannar comes up first with Granick behind. Granick looking very happy and pleased that you guys are back and that everyone else is here safe. Brannar says, well done. It looks like that was a tough go of it. But I'm sure that everyone on this caravan and then everyone traveling these roads will be all the safer for whatever it is that you guys did tonight. And and he kind of trails off looking for words that do not come to him. And Granick claps on his shoulders and says, he feels very bad that he wasn't able to help, but we appreciate it. And he just nods at you guys.
Val leans on Cass's shoulder, face still half bloodied, like, don't mention it.
Brannar looks at you gratefully for that, and he says,
Val with 4 hit points.
"Yeah,
I probably like swollen shut,
Yeah.
all bloody.
again,
It's just like basically in like a finger gunning mood. Don't worry about it.
yeah, exactly, just like lightly teetering."
Is that like adrenaline high? Just
Yeah.
like-
Yeah, she's
Exactly.
like crashing from adrenaline right
Yes.
now, like dead on her feet. It's good. It's fine.
And Brannar says, "The world is all the safer," and he has a little smile in his eyes, "for guilders like you all. So thank you. I'm glad that we were able to get some people to help, and I'm glad at least you guys all came back. I think, did we lose anyone from the caravan?"
A couple of us did not make it back, unfortunately, but such things happen. We were able to keep losses to a minimum.
And I'm assuming we brought their bodies back.
Well, so I was going to ask if you guys, would you guys have, I mean, I know that there was
absolutely brought them on the first trip.
Okay, cool. Brannar thanks you guys for doing that, and he says, if you hadn't, I would have gone out and gotten them myself. I'll figure out whoever these people are and make sure that anyone they were traveling with knows, and I'll make sure that those people are don't have to pay their fares on the way. It's my responsibility to make sure that they're safe, even if they go off the road, and it's the least we can do. And thank you. You guys just kind of share that, and Brannar, as he's turning around and thanking you guys one more time, and Granak following him, Brannar says, don't worry about watch tonight, but there's no easy, and Granak again just kind of like taps him on the shoulder and is like, he's trying to tell you we still leave at first light tomorrow. So sorry about that. Schedules and unions and... Yeah.
Don't worry, guys. We understand. Yeah. You got a schedule to keep.
Yeah,
We'll be
we're
ready.
a little testy about it. You guys go ahead. And Granak literally with this huge meaty orc paws just clasps Brannar on the shoulders and like turns him around, and they start walking down the caravan in search of whoever these two people were. As you guys are going back to your caravan where the Grung is and where the sleeping drugged up tiger also is, Etris sees you. He's already given out as many poultices and potions that he can. He actually falls quiet behind you and is clearly just not waiting for you guys to say something, but not being, he's respecting you guys to, if you want to say something, cool. If you don't, we have a long drive the next day is basically what he's kind of doing. But he catches up to you guys. As you go, Kaskrin, you feel something slip into your pocket.
Kaskrin looks down. He notices that something new is there, and then slips his hand into his pocket and takes it out.
You see an ancient weathered coin with a hole through it.
He looks around and sees if there is something on the edge of his dark vision. Maybe a glimpse of a shiny metal dress.
You just see a glint. You can't make out anything, and you're not even sure if it was your eyes wanting to see something and seeing it. But yes, you see, again, you were just holding this weathered, clearly ancient coin of a press you've never seen, almost so weathered that there's no detail left on it because of how old it is. And it has a faint tingle of magic.
Ooh.
So fancy.
He pulls open his heavy mail a little bit and tucks the coin into a safer pocket in his gambeson.
Okay. Would you like to hear what it does?
Yeah,
Yes.
I would.
Our
yes.
first magical item
Yes.
of the campaign.
Oh, hey.
This is a lucky coin.
Lucky.
It is something I made up. Once per short rest,
Ooh.
you are able to re-roll any roll.
Oh, wow. That is
Damn.
That's good.
Beyond that, once per day, you can flip a coin. On heads, you get advantage. On tails, you must take disadvantage. So you are like, hey, here's a roll that I need to do well in, and I'd like to have advantage, but hope I don't get disadvantage on it.
Huh.
Yeah.
And those are both, in case they are in combat, just free actions that you can just choose to do.
Okay.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah.
As Etris joins up, Val doesn't say anything, but she just pulls the fruit out of her pouch and just kind of like hands it to Etris.
He just looks at it and
Well,
again,
thank you.
he looks at it and looks at you. And what's the vibe you're putting out towards this particular fruit? Again, he's not saying anything. He's trying to be respectful.
Val's vibe right now is that she's dead on her feet and wants to go to sleep very badly, but we're doing this now, and Etris appeared. It's like a take this, we'll deal with it later kind of thing, but Val's so tired she wants to make sure Etris gets it. Because, like, in her, she'll probably just mind link Etris and be like,
I love that.
be like, dude, I can't right now,
And he's like startled.
but we need to study this later.
Yep. Well, all right. Yep. Sounds good. And this is in your head. Is this like an eaten fruit? Is this
Please don't eat it.
Okay.
Please don't eat it.
It's, this part of the process. So you gotta.
The Grung ate it and then made them poisonous and ragey. And the water skin bombs, I think, are made from the very fermented fruit of this.
The what now? Oh, we'll deal with it. We'll do it.
Checkers has
tomorrow.
one.
Tomorrow we'll talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Don't
got it.
jostle Checkers.
So you guys get back to your Conestoga wagon a la Oregon Trail. I don't remember exactly how we described it. All those many episodes ago now. Etris stops you just as you get there. He holds a hand up and slowly backs up and then peers into the back of your wagon, leans over.
Oh, did the little kitty cat wake up?
And then leans back to you guys and then waves you very slowly, very gently, waves you guys to come a little closer to the wagon, but is doing one of those things where he's like, quiet, stay down. He's putting his hands down low and just shh.
My mind link is still up, so I'm like, what? Why are we being quiet?
And he turns to you, and just as it seems like he's about to respond, you hear a coming from inside the wagon. And Etris just like looks wide, looks at you guys, and then slowly peers inside the wagon again. And you don't see him for a second. And then he steps back and he gives you a thumbs up. And he's like, we're good. It's just, it's in the bed. Just come. And he gestures whoever to come around the side.
Val will go where he gestures because she's too curious what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Kaskrin he understands what's happened, and he returns that same wild expression to Etris, just like, Etris, did you put the cat in the wagon?
Come over
Etris,
here.
What are you doing?
I can't. Shh. Quiet. I know you're technically I don't know. Did we
His
ever
voice
figure
is
out
raising a little bit, just like, Etris, did we
ever? And he's like, did we ever figure out exactly my working?
Do you
for
know how
Marking
dangerous
to-
this is?
Shut up. Val goes to look what's in the wagon.
Val makes a good point. Val goes over, and Val, you see, taking up most of the wagon on top of your guys' provisions, on top of Etris's portable chemistry set, essentially. You see two creatures, both sleeping soundly. You see a purple grung that is still pretty wrapped in its little weird burlap sack or whatever it is that you guys wrapped it up in. You see its strangely colored tongue lolling out and just... And behind it, almost but not quite spooning it, is the giant predator cat that you guys brought in,
Nice.
also laying across things.
How did he get it in the wagon?
You can ask him.
Val will ask via my link, how did you get this in the wagon?
Well, a couple things. I do have a couple of experimental concoctions that do greatly enhance strength, and that was helpful. I may have also convinced a couple of other people that it was just a fun pet that we had.
Mm-hmm.
that I had made into a bigger pet, and it was asleep. And you know when sometimes when your pet is like really tired and you're trying to get it to move and it just goes all like dead weight. That's I just said that, but with that, and it worked, I guess. So
Val's gonna start talking out loud now. Etris, what is your plan for this creature?
oh well. And he pulls out.
Because Val wants everyone in this conversation.
Yeah, everyone should know. He's like, don't worry, y'all. And he reaches into one of his many satchels that he is strapped on. He pulls out a couple of vials of some sort of purplish substance. He says, no, these, I give them a little bit of this every couple hours. It knocks them right out. Keeps them nice and calm. Actually, I use like a half a thing for the little one, and then I use like 3 of them for the big one. But like, it's all good. It's very precise. It's science, you know? Science. You respect you respect, so you get science.
Respect and get science. Yes. I still am not clear on what your plan is for this creature, because you won't be able to keep it tranquilized forever.
Well, no, Val, I would never do such a thing.
I know, that's why I'm asking what's after this.
Well, I was waiting for my guilder bosses to tell me what to do. It needed to be out of the way and also to be asleep and close enough that I could keep it asleep. Technically, you did tell me to keep it here or like around. I mean, so I think I was just doing what you told me to do. Technically.
Val just starts smiling, like, because of course the cat's in the wagon now, and this is like another thing that just happened in this night. Okay, Etris, how long can you keep the cat asleep?
With what I got right now, since I know that's probably what you're most asking. Couple days still. No problem. And it's just got that extra little something where it doesn't even need to eat, nothing. It's just that that little concoction, that little kiss of something, that little bit of magic just to make, it's taking a long nap. That's all.
Okay. Perfect.
I got to tell you, there's 2 things going through my head right now.
Yeah.
And the first one is the song I Want to Be Sedated.
Yep.
Okay.
This one probably doesn't, but
no,
it is.
But the other one that I swear to God, these write themselves. But
have you just been running puns off to the side as we've been role playing?
Basically, because you got the song "Tigers in the Wagon with a Purple Grung." Etris got him sleeping, but we don't know how long.
Steve, we've been role playing for like 3 minutes, and you're just like, oh, better write some song lyrics.
Got to get this stuff down. Yeah.
Kaskrin is like, he's like about to climb into the wagon, and it's like, Etris, we cannot keep this cat in the wagon. Do you realize how unsafe this is?
I'm not saying we keep it there. I'm just saying that's where it is right now.
And Kaskrin, he's like climbing over the cat and is like wedging himself against it and the back of the wagon, trying to like push it out of this wagon. It's like, Etris, come up here and help me.
And Val, you from where you are see the large cat's like claws flex a little bit sleepily, but then just it's still totally dead weight.
And he's just like sunken in so far. The tiger's fur just like is covering, like a big shag rug, trying to push this thing out.
Cass, do we really have to do this now? It's late. I'm tired. It's sleeping. It's not going anywhere.
All right, fine, Checkers. You win this one. And then just like pops out.
Nice. Come on, Mango, let's go.
And then Mango and Checkers and Junior are going to go find a tree somewhere and probably sleep.
So, you all bed down for the evening.
Val washes up.
Yep, fair.
Yes. So we'll do the same.
You do all the things required of you to go to bed comfortably on the road after a long battle.
Also has to get that friggin' slime out of her hair.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. That takes a while, I imagine.
Yep, there's probably a lot of slime
She asked
going on.
Etris, like, this is not coming out without alchemical help.
Absolutely. I'm actually really starting a new line of shampoos and conditioners, a whole selection of
This one is
products
specifically
you.
for your head and shoulders. And this other one here, it keeps you pert.
I would just like something that will get the grung slime out of my hair, but not make my hair fall out.
And that is a fair point and fair distinction, because you would be surprised at how many people actually do want the hair to fall out. And off in the distance, you can see him looking over at Barzug the dwarf, who totally shaved, head, being like, I'll get her. And he hands you a couple of ointments and tinctures and that kind of thing. And it works quite well, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't smell great. Probably hasn't gotten to that point of the testing phase, but it certainly does the job it needs to. So
that will give him a lot of feedback, very constructive and helpful, and recommend a few cents.
he stands there just kind of standing with his arms crossed, and he's like listening very attentively, but writes none of it down.
As is Etrus's way.
Yeah, exactly. The morning comes.
So does that mean we get a long rest?
You get a long rest.
Yeah. The first one.
I get to hit the button.
You guys can long rest. The tiger is still there. It doesn't smell great. Your wagon is kind of a little smelly now. The grung also probably doesn't smell that great either. And it is also there.
So when we wake up, I actually want to first interrogate the grung. I'm going to actually take him out a little bit farther away from the clearing and tie him up against a tree, and then take the, I don't want to say we have a sack over his head, but take the cloth wrapping that we have to keep him blinded.
You guys are a little off the road. You guys probably would have even had to have gotten up a little bit before sunup to make it clear that you do not have one of these things that killed a couple people in the caravan. And you sneak off the road, tie up this individual. Etrus sends you along with a tiny vial of something that he assures you will definitely wake this thing up as soon as you give it to him.
Checkers would probably poke it with a stick a few times and then realize that that is not the way.
It's not doing it. Yeah, it reacts either in a very fun way, it reacts not at all, or in a very unfortunate, not fun way.
Right.
Doesn't react at all.
Val considers it an unfortunate, not fun way, and will, with gloved hands, go pour this tincture into the grung's mouth after Checkers takes a break in poking it with his stick.
Okay, so as a reminder, none of you but Checkers can understand any of this, other than what Checkers tells you is being said or talked about.
You know what actually might have been a good idea to do before this is actually to bring the High Overlord hat back and use it in this interrogation so that
Absolutely.
Checkers...
Oh, I assumed you kept it.
Oh, yeah.
No, he
okay.
chucked
I
it.
thought you
No,
just chucked
he
it.
chucked it,
I'm
but
done with it.
But thinking about it twice, I'm like, that might actually be helpful. I'm going to bring it back. So Checkers might actually use that in this to help.
we'll say you put it on right now then.
Right.
And this grung you can see looks up at you guys and he says, where am I? Who are you? Oh, I know who you are. Where is the rest? Where is my tribe?
It's me, Checkers, the High Overlord. What's your name?
You are not the High Overlord.
But I have the hat.
You are a blue, and not even the right blue.
Yeah, fine. I told you it was gaudy.
Do you say that out loud to them, out of
Val's
context?
just like affronted, like, I didn't say what
You just like
happened?
take and just chuck it way back into the forest.
And you can see the grung you have tied up looks at it almost sadly.
Yeah.
What is happening? What are you doing? Who? I know who you are, but who are you?
Well, I'm Checkers. This is Valeska, Kaskrin, Salve.
And
Nice
you
to
see
meet
this
you.
grung follow as Checkers points at all of you guys.
And you are?
I am your worst nightmare. And he just kind of looks at you and then looks at everyone else and then realizes no one understood him.
I would translate it into Kaskrin, he says you have an ugly face.
Kaskrin just face palms. It's like, Checkers, just ask him what he's doing here.
So my friends want to know, what are you doing here?
We are here to rule.
Yes, but what specifically?
To rule the people and the place here. To rule.
But why do you want to? There's like nothing out here. It's just roads and trees.
Well, it's about building an infrastructure of power. We start small, we bring what we have, we get more people, we grow, we get bigger, we bring more.
He said something about infrastructure? I don't know what that means.
That question seemed to have angered him.
Yeah, why did you ask him what he's doing here, Cass? He's angry now, look.
What do you plan to do with me?
Well,
I will fight you.
I have some very important questions for you. And if you answer correctly, maybe I'll let you go, but I probably won't.
That does not make any sense to me. You can ask your questions, and I will try to refrain from spitting upon you.
So Checkers would ask some character-specific questions of,
Have you ever heard of the calm?
and he would translate that into a language. It's the calm in the Pentucky standard, but in Grung it would be something different. So you would start asking questions about that and about the fruit, where they got that from, and maybe about where these Grung specifically came from.
Oh, the fruit. Yes, that is from our lands. Far from here, apparently. I do what the High Overlord told me to do, because he is the High Overlord, and we came here from where we were, and that is what we do.
And how did you get here? There was a portal that brought you here, right?
That's right. We have a great many powerful allies who will be a key part of our infrastructure of power.
You keep saying that word. I don't know what it means.
He keeps saying infrastructure. I don't know what that means.
I know what that means.
Well, that didn't help me, Checkers, personally.
And he would also, I'll also say, he would say when you ask him about, what was it?
The calm.
The calm. He says, that sounds a little like our, and he says another kind of holy-ish Grung phrase.
Okay.
That isn't real, that is. We must make our own kingdom, our own place of paradise where we are superior. We do not look for such fairy tales anymore. We build our own.
Who opened the portal?
I don't know how they do it. There's just the tiny light box, whatever. As he points it opens, we go through, he goes through, it closes, it changes. It's how they get everywhere.
And how many more of you are there?
I will tell you nothing more than I already told you.
Are you going to poke him with the stick?
Yeah, I was going to poke him with the stick.
You sure?
Stop it. It is most dishonorable.
He says he won't tell us anything else. I tried poking him, it didn't work.
Let me try. And Val will use Mind Link
Ah!
to introduce herself. Hello, I'm Valeska. What's your name?
What is this? It's looking around. You just see out of nowhere this Grung just look around. What is happening? I got Russian for a second. I'm back.
Okay. This is an ability I have. I thought it would be a little more civilized if we could talk this way.
Checkers would just be like wiggling the stick the whole time in front of him, just like, you better listen to her.
Just like right in front of its nose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jonathan, what's a good Grung name? Shared world building.
Right.
It's all good when everyone's, talking about it as, oh yeah, involve your players in your world. And now it is time.
I want to call him Mark, but I know that's not a good Grung name.
My name is Mark.
With a C?
and an accent, but not where you'd think.
Hello, Mark.
Le Mark, if you please.
Le Mark.
Le space capital M Mark with an accent.
Le Mark. I would really like to know more about the portals and your very strong allies that brought you and your people here.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Guidance.
Yep, good.
21.
Ooh, okay. So
Nice.
what is it like? What's the carrot that you're dangling in front?
I'm going for Checkers is bad cop. Val's kind of being
So it is just good cop, bad cop, building rapport.
Yeah, really trying to be like, you're right. Your tribe is building monumental infrastructure.
I was trying to tell him he doesn't know.
Yes, and you have very strong allies for an already strong people.
I thank you for saying that. That is true.
We would just like to know more about your and your allies' magnificence.
We are very magnificent. That is very true.
Castron's like trying to like be intimidating, but nothing's being said.
Yeah.
And so he's just kind of
Being a bouncer presence basically in the background.
Checkers is still wiggling the
it goes
stick.
from like intimidation to just kind of like awkward. Or
Yeah.
just, like, sitting
Actually,
there.
After the course of a couple minutes of
Yeah.
talking, just the energy is lost.
Actually, I would like to make an insight roll to determine how things are going.
Absolutely.
Like if one of us becoming hostile.
I think that's a
anything like
great
that.
idea, especially because there was a persuasion check, but there's always ulterior weird motives. Who knows?
13.
The Grung seems to be pretty open. He was openly antagonistic to Checkers, and now is openly like, well, I will brag about those. That sounds like a very nice time. So you guys are talking, and again, I'm assuming that there's a little bit of, back and forth, like you said, of, well, it does sound like you're have a nice thing going. What's your tax rates? And, how does that work? And
Do you have any pamphlets?
yeah. During the course of it, he lists a bunch of, and we, of course, have defeated the so-and-so tribe, and we have absorbed this other one, and this group of people, they fear us. They do anything we ever say, and the shepherd, they ferry us all over the world to expand our modest but ever-growing empire. And so you catch the phrase, the shepherd, and in grander context, know that is who they're talking about, is whoever that creature was. They only refer to it as they, not a he or she or anything like that, or even by name, just the shepherd. Or they is exclusively how this Grung references them, even if Nathan doesn't do that every time. But that is part of a longer list of, yes, of course, we are expert builders of sturdy walls and of fabulous palisades for the High Overlord. He looks sad. What else do you want from me?
Question for you, Val. Did he say the clan had a name?
In his talking about his clan.
Yeah, sure. You probably could have even gotten it out of him pretty easily, too, Checkers.
That's fair.
Jonathan, what's the name of this Grung tribe?
Oh no, you can't ask me to do this. This is like very important
You
lore
just got
for the world.
reversed Uno'd.
No, you.
The marksmen, the Oneaters.
I don't like this.
The bog weavers.
Yeah, boom, there it is. The Bog Weavers.
Fine. I was gonna
You
do
say in character.
I was gonna,
Fine.
I was gonna be like
Fine,
10
whatever.
minutes of like, no, not that one, not that one. What do I do?
Just
Let
look
it in
it
post.
up in French.
Right.
Yeah.
Steve with the save.
Le Bog Weaver.
Yeah, so Val will tell Checkers they're the bog weavers.
So I have a question, and this might be a little weird, but does the Grung look like it is the color changing? It's been overnight at least.
No, it'll take a little bit of time.
Or does he look like he has any symptoms of withdrawal?
Give me an insight check.
I believe that is a 14.
He's looking a little twitchy.
Okay.
I believe those fruits might be somewhat addictive.
Well, I was going to eat one, but when you say that, and Lemarc was saying that apparently the calm doesn't exist, which tells me that this probably isn't the fruit that I'm looking for. So fine, I won't eat it.
Val just notes the calm in her brain for follow-up later.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Mango, on the other hand, would probably no.
Can I go now?
I mean, without the fruit and without the infrastructure, I think he's not much of a threat.
Selv will just kind of shrug and just say,
Give him a way to untie himself and just leave him.
Val will mind link again and just say,
Thank you, Lemark. We're going to let you go. Your infrastructure, unfortunately, was destroyed.
Yes. Yes, it was.
Mm-hmm. I would recommend the shepherd take you elsewhere. Somewhere where infrastructure might be a little bit easier.
We will definitely need more fruit and a new High Overlord. He looks back over his shoulder at the hat again and looks back at you. Then his eyes glaze over and he's like, yes. Yes, I can rebuild. I can rebuild the glorious infrastructure. We will return. We will swell our numbers back even greater than before. And we will infrastructure.
He's getting that glint in his eye.
As it goes from a noun to a verb.
Right.
As Val kind of leans in to like cut the rope and untie him, she does remind him, but not here.
Intimidation check.
Does the stick give
Guidance.
advantage?
Would someone else like to be helping or what have you?
Val will kind of accidentally prick him with the knife as well.
And you can have advantage with the stick. The stick of
Checkers
advantage.
away.
Maul, get my poking stick.
Ooh, that's a good roll.
21.
Well, I think, this wasn't my idea to come here. It was the High Overlord and the Shepherd, and they came up with it, and I will forge my own destiny.
Selv will make a quick note of basically Val's body language and just lean over to Cass and just say,
Remind me not to get on her bad side.
I think you might be onto something there, Self.
And then as soon as you cut him loose, he stands up slowly, very non-threateningly,
Val
and then
will
just
back
does like
away and,
a side step, a back step, and then is slowly backing away for like 5 feet. And then he just turns and bolts straight for the hat, picks it up, and then jumps into a tree and is gone.
Checkers, do you have anything to say about him taking the hat?
Nah, I didn't like it very much anyway.
But, serious question for you, Val. Do you think the Val Checkers duo should be called Valeskers or Chaleska?
Ooh.
We'll roll a poll. We'll do a poll on social media. I'll be sure to put that in the old content calendar. Let your voice be heard, listener.
Mm-hmm.
Which of those two? Obviously excellent.
Yes.
Celebrity pairing names.
Buddy cop.
Buddy cop names would you like to see?
I'm really looking forward to the episode where we switch and
yeah.
Val's the bad cop and Checkers is
This is
the
the
cop.
good cop.
Playing to both of your strengths.
The stick is not the worst thing that will happen to you if you don't talk to us.
That's right. My partner, she's crazy.
Right.
She'll drop she'll drop her heaviest book on you.
That book is at least 5,000 pages. You do not want her to read that.
Yes. Okay. The Grung is gone. There is still some travel ahead of you all. You guys get back to the caravan. In those last moments of everyone getting ready and starting to shove off, you have a lot certainly to ponder and think about. And all of the wagons slowly start to move down the runic roads together. An indeterminate amount of time later, it is night. You see the former Grung encampment. What remains that has not been picked over by carrion creatures, monsters, what have you, is clearly aged, we'll say. Suddenly, a beam of sunlight emerges onto the ground with a blue tint to it. And out steps the being you know as the shepherd. You see them look around, start to walk around. Little scenes, little different angles, finding the squished remnants of the High Overlord, seeing the amount of damage that these exploded grenade sacks, which will hopefully be one of the last times we have to say that for the rest of the whole campaign. Eventually, you see the shepherd start to walk away into the forest. You see them hear a noise over their shoulder, and it slowly turns. And you see a big, hulking growl making defensive noises at the creature. And the shepherd approaches totally calmly, totally unperturbed by this ferocious creature. And it crouches down very softly, very gracefully, very gently. It puts down its lantern, slowly extends its hand, and caresses the Browl. And you see a smaller Browl come out and weave in between the legs. In a strange language, a language of arcane sylvan power, you hear the shepherd say something that translates to, "Tell me what you've seen." And that's where we'll end tonight's episode, everyone. Thank you for playing Dungeons & Dragons with Reckless Attack. I'm Nathan, I've been your Dungeon Master. Have a good day. Bye, everyone. Yay!
Oh, no.
If you love Reckless Attack, you'll love the people who helped us make it possible. Our logo artist, Maggie Pearson, character artist, Borg Cinnabon, and website designer, Donnie Chung, put together all the visuals you see for our podcast. We have some fantastic music, too. Our opening and closing theme was written by Chicago-based composer Megan Carnes. We also used the works of Michael Gelfi and Alexander Nakarada for our background music. You can find all of their social media links and more info about them on our website, recklessattack.com. See you all next time.